everyone, I'm Tristan with Embarc, and today on our Along the Way series, we have Jake from Sparr and Co Insurance. Welcome, Jake.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. To start out, I really just want to know a little bit about Sparr and Co. Tell us about your business, what it is.
Yeah, so we're an independent insurance agency. We do everything except life and health. So that's personal insurance, your home, auto, umbrella, commercial insurance or business insurance, as a lot of people know it, your general liability, work comp, cyber liability, really anything related to property and casualty insurance.
Nice. And how long have you been doing this?
So I've been doing insurance a little over 5 years. I started on the captive side with State Farm, went to Allstate for a little bit, then switched over to the independent side. Spent a little under 3 years on the independent side before I just recently branched out on my own back in January.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this is relatively new.
Yes.
What made you branch out on your own?
Really, ever since I got into insurance, I've wanted to branch out on my own. At State Farm, the agent that I worked under was going to put me through their agent advocacy program so that I could eventually become a State Farm agent. And when I came back to Arkansas, I started in Florida. I worked for an agent that had some different goals for me, and they didn't align with what I was wanting to do, and kind of stair-stepped my way up till I got to this point.
Okay. You mentioned Florida. Are you from Florida?
No, so I'm originally actually from Mississippi. My wife and I, when we had our first child, moved to Florida so that I could make the career change into insurance. And that's a long story in itself.
But made your way back to...
Yeah, we spent about 6 months in Florida, made our way back here. Been here probably a little under 5 years total.
Okay.
Yeah. She's from here.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
So that's how you ended up in Arkansas.
Yes, she grew up in the Hillcrest area. Her mom moved to Mississippi when she was young, so her dad stayed here. She spent some time going back and forth. We ended up crossing paths because she had some friends still there, and liked Arkansas a lot better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so spent some time in Florida, decided to branch out on your own. What so far has been the hardest part about starting your own business?
The business part.
Okay.
Insurance is insurance. I mean, whether you're doing it for somebody else or yourself, it's still insurance. You're still dealing with the same carriers. You're dealing with the same underwriters. I had never, obviously, owned a business before, so I've had to pick a lot of brains, use a lot of resources to learn the business side, and there's still a lot to learn. I mean, every day it's something different. When I was starting, every carrier wanted to see a copy of the W-9. I probably sent 30 of the wrong ones and had to get that fixed, but just little things like that you don't know until you do.
Mm-hmm. What have been your best resources for figuring out the business side of things?
So my father-in-law actually owns an IT company, so I pick his brain a lot. I've got, obviously, a lot of connections that have businesses, and I will call on them to ask them questions to the point where I probably annoy them a little bit. And then AI has been a huge help.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, I mean, it answers every question I've got pretty much.
Yeah, we love chat. We love AI. Use it all the time. Okay, so help me understand the independent nature of insurance. So
Yeah.
you're just on your own. How is that different than like a State Farm or one of the big name insurance companies?
It's a good question. State Farm, Allstate, Farm Bureau, Shelter, those are known as captive agencies.
Okay.
So their agents essentially act as a contractor specifically for that brand. Whereas an independent, I've got probably 30 or 40 carriers on the commercial side and 15 on the personal side that I can go through. So I don't specifically represent any one carrier. I've got multiple at my disposal.
Okay. So from a consumer perspective, you can price out
Yes.
all of those different options.
So the way I tell people is with a captive agent, if you did a rate increase or you have a claim and they non-renew you, a lot of times that agent may have a few little things they're partnered with, but a lot of times you're going to have to go shop through other agents. Whereas me, I'm able to get you the best price on the front end, and then let's say you have a claim or your price increases it's Arkansas, that happens from time to time when storms come through. I'm able to reshop you. We maintain that relationship without you having to go shop through other agents and try to explain your whole situation to them.
That's really cool. I've honestly never gone the independent route,
Yeah.
but I could see a lot of reasons why you would.
Yeah.
Because you're not selling this one product. You're selling whatever's best for the client.
Yes.
And you've got all of these different products at your disposal.
And on the captive side, like I said, I started on that side. There were a lot of times there was somebody that would want to be with me, but I wouldn't have an option for them. Mm-hmm. And on this side, I still run into that some because not everybody fits into the carriers that I have. But for the most part, I'm going to have an option to fit their needs.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're typically saving people money too. Or
Typically, I can. That's the goal. I don't like to sell on price because a lot of times we're going to break even, or it may be a $20 difference, a $200 difference, but I'm going to try to get a lot more coverage on there if that's the case.
Okay, that makes sense. What's something that people often misunderstand about the insurance industry in general?
That's a good one. I hear a lot, even from close friends, that insurance is a scam. I disagree with that. I used to think that before getting into insurance and knowing what I know now. And a lot of times people think that because they're so used to hearing all the ads on TV, we're going to get you the lowest price, or they've had a past claim experience or know of somebody that has where something's gotten denied. And that's why it's crucial to have an agent that's going to go to bat for you. Make sure the proper coverages are in place so that when that time comes, you're covered. I said one that'll go to bat for you so that if the carrier, for whatever reason, tries to fight it, the agent steps up and says, no, this is what we had. This is what needs to be done.
So if something happens, you have an incident, they work with you to
Yes.
escalate that.
There'll be an adjuster involved. And a lot of times the agent can communicate with the adjuster to kind of work through things. That's why it's important to have a carrier that has a good rating and will pay out on claims.
So being on your own, is this the kind of business where you're getting calls all the time? Like, hey, this has happened. What do I do?
Knock on wood, I'm still new, so I haven't had many yet. There's been a couple. A lot of times people think that insurance is for anything and everything. Mm-hmm. I like to set people's deductibles to where they're not going to file a claim unless it makes sense. A lot of times people want the lowest deductible and then they'll try to file a claim on something that was $700 when that's going to go towards your claim count if you were to file it. And then that's going to show on your history on a home for 5 to 7 years, on an auto 3 to 5 years, and affect your rates for that amount of time. So it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to have a low deductible and then file a claim on something right above that. I try to set a deductible of where you would feel comfortable paying out of pocket if you had to, but to where it makes sense financially, it's not going to affect your rates in the long term.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I've just learned a lot about insurance. This is
I'll give you an example. So on homes, I typically stick around the $2,500 claim mark. That's kind of the new standard. It used to be $1,000. Let's say your roof, you have a roof claim. That's anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 nowadays. That makes sense to file a claim on that. Whereas, let's say you have a water line burst. It causes $1,000 of damage. Probably should pay that out of pocket.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's been, so far, the most valuable lesson that you've learned in business?
I'm about to think on that one a second. I would say to build a strong network. I see a lot of people, and in certain industries I think it's okay, but a lot of people go out, they push advertisements, they push just everything they can to try to get as much business as they can. And with me, since it's just me right now, I'm more relationship focused, and I think having that network in place of people who are going to feed you good business where you can have that personal relationship in place that you can build upon to where it's more of a long-term deal rather than somebody who's going to price shop after the first renewal. And that's been crucial to me so far because I don't want to constantly be spinning my wheels trying to retain business. I want to have that friendship, that relationship in place to where we can work through things and have those hard conversations as they come up without you having to completely go switch to somebody else.
That makes sense. Where do you see yourself in a year or 5 years? Where do you want to see the business grow?
My 1 year goal is to have somebody helping me. I'd like to hire somebody. 5 year goal, I'd like to be comfortable. That's a tough one too.
5 years is a long way.
It is a long time. I mean, I've got big goals, and I don't want to say be a millionaire. I mean, that's the standard answer you may get.
Who doesn't want to be a millionaire?
Exactly. I mean, that's the long-term goal. But I want to be comfortable. I'd like to be able to. The whole reason I started in the first place was I want to be able to go to my kids' games as they grow up without having to ask somebody, "Can I take off for this?" So that's my goal, is to get to a point where I can comfortably do that and have the people in place, the processes in place to where it's not going to affect the company one way or the other if I do.
I love that. I relate to that a lot. Just being able to be there and have that flexibility. So you don't get these years back when they're little.
That's right.
They happen once.
You blink and they're gone.
Exactly. Okay, so we've learned a lot about insurance. Somebody's watching this. They want to work with you. How do they get in touch with you?
You can call me. It's probably the best way. You want my phone number?
Sure.
So my office number is 501-232-8432. Then my email is jake@sparrandco.com. All one word.
Awesome. And the process is they call you.
Yep.
You collect some information.
Yep. So actually, you're talking for quote purposes.
Yes.
So I've got some questionnaires that I can send out that kind of help gather that initial information. Makes it a little bit simpler because rather than me going through on a phone call for 20 minutes, jotting down notes, realizing I missed something later, this walks through the exact same information every time. It pulls into my systems. That way it's just an easier kind of start process. So yeah, if you'll reach out, phone or email, I can get that over to you. On the commercial side, it's a little bit different because each business has different things they're going to need, so the questions may be a little different on the front end. But generally, I can either go through those over the phone or send a list via email and go from there.
Great. Well, thank you, Jake. This has been great. I really enjoyed talking to you today.
I did you as well. Thank you for having me.